In this past year, one of the biggest events of YouTube was the subscriber war between PewDiePie and T-Series. This subscriber war, which lasted for several months, was a race to see which of the two channels would reach 100 million subscribers first. One of the biggest reasons why people oppose T-Series is because it's a corporation, not an individual creator like PewDiePie. It's no secret that corporations are gaining more influence on YouTube. However, people don't like the fact that multi-million-dollar companies are on track to dominate the competition on YouTube, while individual creators who work hard to make their own content, the people who made the website famous, are getting pushed aside. And people feared that T-Series reaching 100 million subscribers before PewDiePie would mark the final nail in the coffin. However, what most people don't realize is that another company already ruled YouTube from the shadows. The Soul Publishing isn't exactly a household name. However, you've almost certainly heard of their YouTube channels, 5-Minute Crafts, Brightside, Actually Happen, and a whole bunch more. Their two biggest channels, 5-Minute Crafts and Brightside, have around 60 million and 30 million subscribers respectively, and add in the plethora of side channels they have over 115 million subscribers collectively. And I wouldn't be making this video if the Soul Publishing were just creating normal, decent videos. However, the Soul Publishing uses all the worst tactics that scummy YouTubers use to exploit people for money. And what's even more upsetting is that YouTube seems to be promoting this type of behavior by constantly putting them on the trending page. And people have talked about the Soul Publishing's channels, most notably Jarvis Johnson. But today, instead of talking about these channels and their videos, I'm going to talk about their immoral techniques they use across all their channels to gain the most views and money. We see examples of the Soul Publishing lying and cheating across all their channels. The most notable channel that does this is Actually Happen. Actually Happen is a channel dedicated to animating and sharing what they claim are true stories submitted by their teenage fans. However, as we dig deeper, we can see that this is a complete lie. It's reasonable to believe that a channel with almost 1 million subscribers gets enough stories for one video per day. But nowhere in the description does it show where to submit stories. They only give you an email, which is shared across all their channels. As a multi-million-dollar company, the Soul Publishing receives thousands of emails per day, so any actual submissions will most likely just get lost. Therefore, we can conclude that these stories aren't actually submitted. In Jarvis Johnson's expose video on Actually Happen, he reveals an email he got from a fan, which shows an email from the Soul Publishing, which offers an employment opportunity for writers to write stories for Actually Happen. So it's pretty much confirmed that the whole choose story thing is BS. If that's not bad enough, apparently the writers for Actually Happen can't even write their own stories. A good chunk of their stories are actually stolen word for word from Reddit without crediting the original author. So not only do we have lying on multiple levels, we also have blatant theft. Actually Happen isn't the only Soul Publishing channel to do this. Other channels like Brightside, 5-Minute Crafts, and Smart Banana all do the same. However, in their case, it's through Clickbait. Now let me clarify. Clickbait is essential to a good YouTube channel. Your titles and thumbnails should provide an incentive for someone to view your video. But if you start blatantly lying in them, as is the case with these channels, then you've crossed the line. These channels are like the new generation of WatchMojo. But at least with WatchMojo you got what you clicked for. If the title says Top 10 Worst Character Customization Systems, you know you're going to get a video about the top 10 worst character customization systems. That isn't the case with the Soul Publishing. We can see examples in their channels Brightside and Smart Banana. Both of these channels use sensationalized and fear-mongering titles and thumbnails along the lines of, "If you see this, call the police," or "Your school has been lying to you about the pyramids." It's all typical tabloid stuff that no one believes, but it's really disgusting that the most powerful company on YouTube uses cheap techniques like this. 5-Minute Crafts also uses a lot of clickbait in their videos, which is blatantly false. I can give you a whole bunch of examples, but this should be enough. This is their most popular video, a typical life hack video with over 100 million views. The thumbnail shows somebody using an eraser to erase cracks off their phone screen. That should probably give you a good idea of how ridiculous their lying is. Quantity over quality is a criticism we use when talking about these big corporate YouTube channels. They upload several times a day, but the videos are lacking in both substance and soul. Like these other channels, the Soul Publishing lacks soul in their videos, ironic, but you can't say they even have a large amount of quantity in their videos as well. Yes, across their multitude of channels, they upload dozens of videos a day, but these videos don't have a lot in them. They stretch out what's at most 2 minutes of content into 10 to 15 minute videos for the increased watch time and ad revenue. The narrators they hire speak really slowly, almost like they're talking to a 5-year-old child. They also add these awkward pauses where the video lingers on for way too long. However, this is of course just to make more profit. The next point is probably worse than this point, and that is that Brightside uses a lot of morbid themes in their videos. The previous 2 points I talked about are at least tolerable, but this is really what's disgusting. If you go onto the Soul Publishing's website, literally the first thing that they say is, "We focus on the bright side of life." But for some reason, a lot of their videos have themes of death. If you look at Brightside's channel, a lot of their videos about like plane crashes or like surviving shark attacks, or a lot of, intense situations. There's a lot of fear-mongering and paranoia in Brightside. 7-second riddles is also a huge contributor to this type of content. A lot of the riddles are about finding the murderer. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, over half of 7-second riddles videos are about figuring out which person is the killer. Now obviously, compared to what kids see in the news and the movies, this isn't really that bad. But it is pretty scummy, since the cartoony art style of their channels makes it look like it's for children, but is actually much more darker and mature. If you show a kid a bunch of videos about friends and family murdering people, of course kids are going to become scared and paranoid. It's similar to how people believe that the state of the world is much worse than it actually is, because the media reports a disproportionate amount of negative news. It just raises these kids with a negative mindset. So what was the purpose of this video? Well, first of all, a lot of people know about the channels I talked about, but not many people knew that they were all owned by one corporation, so hopefully you know that by now. And also, I wanted to show you that the biggest corporation on YouTube uses immoral techniques to exploit people for profit. Not sure what you'll make with that information, but there it is. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We just hit 100 subscribers, so let's keep it going. Until next time, this is Ryvetcha. Peace.